Really good. Ready for my train ride. I'm gonna read this book. Got my McDonald's. Spicy nuggets. Granada. Here's the room tour. Oh, it's super gorge. Wow. AC, very important. My goodness, how cute. Actually, it's pretty clean. Wow! The floor is pretty clean, yes. Go barefoot. Oh my god, a nice tub. The hotel we're staying in Granada is called Hotel Casa 1800. What's worth mentioning about this hotel is that it's actually a historic Granadan house that was built in the last third of the 16th century on the layout of an important Arab house. The architecture of this hotel therefore hosts both the Castilian influences as well as a Mudéjar presence, especially in the courtyards and in the structure that supports the upper floor. It is hotter than Sevilla, truly. Nice, I love it. It's a lager. The mandatory bread. A try. It's the hamon.
Really good.
The olive oil. Good. Tell. Anju is here. What's that? It's a church.
Hola.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. We start our tour this morning here at the Generalife, which is the royal garden where the Sultan can retreat from his palace affairs while also still being close to the Alhambra should urgent matters arise. The name Generalife actually derives from the Arab word Jannah, which means garden or paradise, and Al-Arif means architect or master builder. Therefore, it can be translated to mean the garden of the architect. So this is a garden in homage to God, to Allah, who has created life, and there's such a beautiful meaning to the garden. And we're now outside of the Alhambra. The Alhambra is a palace and fortress complex perched high above the Red Hill. It is one of the most important architectural structures of the Middle Ages and the finest example of Islamic art left in the Western world. The Alhambra is not a single building, born complete at any particular moment in time, but a masterpiece of 3 centuries of construction, starting from the Muslim rule in Al Andalus and continued throughout the Christian period of Spain and almost into modern times. The origin of its name most likely referred to the color of the oxidized soil covering the hill that made it red. We now enter the Water Garden courtyard. This is possibly the area of the Alhambra which best preserved the style of the medieval garden in Al Andalus. In its original conception, it was to be an elongated courtyard with a pool to reflect the surrounding facades. The addition of the waterspouts later on broke this mirror-like surface and also replaced the original auditory experience of a natural flow of water from the fountains at both ends to the sound of water splashing from the jets, similar to the sound of rainfall. The Hand of Fatima. We now enter into the old citadel called the Alcazaba. It is the fortress at the western tip and is the oldest surviving part of the Alhambra, having been built by Muhammad I, the founder of the Nasrid dynasty, when he made Granada the capital of the new emirate. The citadel, in fact, existed even earlier than this, but on a much smaller scale than today, and was also used as a fortress by the earlier Zirid dynasty, the 11th century Granada. When Muhammad I took over, he reused some of the foundations of the earlier Zirid fortress and built the new Alcazaba over it. And some of the foundations of the Alcazabar's northern inner wall probably still dates back to the Zirid period. Within the inner precinct, there still remained the foundation of a bathhouse for the soldiers at the foot of the watchtower and small houses along each side of a main street, intended for offices of the garrison, armorers, blacksmith, and the such. There are also water cisterns and an underground dungeon beneath the eastern wall for prisoners. The guide was just sharing that the Alhambra got the name red because of the painting of lime on the wall that gives it that red color. And obviously it was a time in the 14th century when they were super affluent thanks to the silk trade, and the city of Granada is obviously an affluent place and able to use lime to paint the walls of the Alhambra. Finally, we came to my personal highlight of the tour, which is the Nasrid Palaces made up of 3 independent areas. Starting at the Merwa Palace, its name came from its Arabic word mashwa, which means a place of council or conference area. This is most certainly the oldest surviving part of the royal palaces, and it was here that the Royal Court of Justice convened to discuss important judicial matters. The oratory is situated at the end of the hall and overlooks the Albayzín. Islam obliges the faithful to pray towards Mecca 5 times a day, and hence oratories of this sort are commonly found throughout Muslim countries. The mihrab, the devotional niche, indicates the direction towards Mecca.
Only God is conqueror. Only God is conqueror was the motto of the Nasrid family. For this reason, is constantly repeated here. And remember that the Catholic monarchs didn't feel offended. For this reason, he was concerned.
We start at the courtyard of the Myrtles. Obviously, the courtyard derives its name from the plant bushes that border the central pool. This plant is frequently found in the gardens of Al Ándalus, as it is evergreen and gives off a pleasant smell when their leaves were rubbed in the hand. This courtyard was the focal point of diplomatic activity in Alhambra. It is where great receptions for ambassadors were held and where important visitors waited to be received by the Sultan. Upon entering, the visitor will be greeted by the majestic view of the building and its reflection mirrored by the vast body of water that flows down the middle of the courtyard. This technique of using water to mirror the structure above would later be used 3 centuries later in the Taj Mahal in India. We now stand inside the Hall of the Ambassadors, also the throne room, and this room presents all of the Nasrid power and its magnificence as the last Muslim court in Europe. The Hall of Ambassador is also otherwise known as the Hall of Comares, deriving from its Arabic word for stained glass. In the past, the alcoves would be swimming in the colors pouring through the stained glass windows, and the Sultan would sit silhouetted against the more mysterious light of the stained glass wall behind him. Sadly, these stained glass windows were all destroyed by an explosion of a gunpowder magazine in 1590.
Sin el amor no hay vida.
Now moving to the last area of the Street Palaces, which is the Palace of Leones. We're now facing the courtyard of the Lions, which is the focal point of the Sultan's private quarters. Right in the middle is the Fountain of the Lions, featuring 12 white marble lions bearing on their backs a 12-sided bull. This is a symbol where the lion spring water from its mouth represents the sun from which all life springs. The fountain is also the best example of one of the most important contributions that the Nasrid dynasty gave to Granada, which is water engineering. Worth mentioning here is the orientation of the palaces that make each column here the hand of a sundial, which resulted from all the rooms being aligned from north to south. This also meant that places that receive the most sun in winter stay in the shade in summer, achieving the effect of keeping places warm during the cold and staying cool during the hottest summer months.
Sin el amor. No hay problema. No hay problema. No hay problema. No hay problema.
Had lunch, got change to lighter clothes. We're here for Hammam. I obviously could not film in the inside the bathhouse, but we had booked for ourselves a massage session in addition to using the bath pools. Personally, I am more accustomed to a firmer style of massage and also higher temperature water. But overall, it was still a very relaxing and interesting experience that I would recommend for you to try at least once. After the relaxing Hammam, we continued on a night adventure to experience the tapas culture of Granada and also visit a Moorish tea house. Here is a Flamenco, which is breaded pork with ham and cheese. Moorish Quarter with the fancy house. Okay. I think this is just... Cheers. Of course, it's not a night of tapas adventure if we're not going to be bar hopping. So here we are at our second stop. Tapas. Late this morning. Yes, the fit check. Heading to a Segway tour, but thank goodness meeting point is just 1 minute from our hotel, so we're gonna be fine. See you on the Segway.
This way. Zigzag. Firmly. There we go. That's better. That's better. That's better. And we
good job.
stop. Do you guys know who they are, where they come from? Please don't say Romania. 11th century, arriving to East, basically Middle East, establish a connection with the Muslims.
Oh, Sacromonte. Crazy, crazy beautiful. And we're going to visit a cave, Hola, a cave now, and so beautiful. I can't even show it on camera.
¿Sí?
¿Qué coco? Es coco. Oh, es a coco. Oh.
Tenéis que seguir por aquí una minutilla, pasáis el mirador de Mario Maya, seguís vosotros el camino.
Vale.
El camino. Picture videos as you guys want. But it's also now, I don't know if you guys have already seen a flamenco show, but I'm telling you, if you're going to watch one here in Granada, I recommend you do that instead of cake. Just listen.
Wow.
Sounds better inside of a cup.
I know.
And it feels super nice to be inside.
Nice and cool. It's like
You guys are gonna be moving there to take a night of the segways.
natural
See you there in a couple of
AC.
minutes, okay?
Yes. They were forced to be here. We didn't even see these other.
Oh yeah,
We didn't,
definitely.
we didn't even see these other steps.
A lot cheaper.
Wow. I'm sure there's Airbnb for cave experience.
Should take a picture of that.
Wow. Oh, interesting. Ah, nice. Oh.
Now, what about Carmen? Well, Carmen actually comes from the Arab word Carmen, and it was the traditional house here in Granada in the Muslim era. Yeah, so remember when
Look how pretty this car is. So pretty. It's so aromatic with like orange cardamom. Wow, it's so good. And spices. Hot to hold it. I'm just gonna drink it. So good. Wow.
Welcome.
Gracias.
It's a lot of food.
Ate so well. And it's so sleepy.
I know where I want to go actually.
So sleepy right now, ready for a siesta. But it was one of the best meal. Highly recommend. And I would suggest for you to come in the afternoon for lunch because this place gets packed. But in the afternoon, it's okay. Tapas. Good. City walk.